Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. Someone accidentally stabbed themselves?
Yeah, he jumped on the couch and there was a knife.
And this is, 11-year-old? Is this your brother?
Yes, this is my brother.
Is the knife still in him, or?
Yes, the knife's still in him. I left it in and I covered it up with like a paper towel. My mom and my 16-year-old brother are at a driver's ed thing, and I'm 15.
Like I said, we got a bunch of units heading out there right now.
You need to stay awake.
It wasn't something that you can prepare for. You don't even think to tell your children, now don't put your steak knife in the couch cushions. Yeah, you just don't think you can't prepare for that.
When Tate came in, I looked at his initial x-ray as we were rushing to the operating room, and I thought, oh my God, I don't know that I can save this boy. Because where that knife was in the center of his ability to live. I'm looking at that x-ray saying, don't cry, because it's gonna demoralize the whole team. But I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes, just looking at it.
One of the doctors came by and I remember asking her, I said, what do I need to plan for? And she said, you need to be prepared to not take him home. I always prayed that I would be able to accept God's will, but for God's will, please, to not be to take Tate.
Trauma surgery is the ultimate puzzle, and you need all of the pieces to work correctly and to end up with a picture that you can hang on your wall. Tate received CPR 3 times. The aorta was sliced completely in half, right through the kidney. So we immediately removed the kidney so we could get to the aorta, and we put in an interposition graft. We kind of MacGyvered that. I remember Dr. Hashimi coming in and him saying, looking at what we were doing, and him saying, I've never seen this before. And I said, that's great, scrub in and help us. It was just about at shift change. We had the crew that was basically getting ready to go home. They stayed. The new crew came in and they assisted as well. So we actually had 2 crews of people working for hours to keep this boy alive. When the bleeding stopped, I looked up at Dr. Grant, and her and I just looked at each other and thought, maybe he's gonna live.
Tate was a great example of the teamwork of Fairfax. The first few nights, we had people offering to come and help from all over. And then we also had to have so many specialists consulting for his care because of his injuries.
He lost one of his kidneys, cut his aorta in half, damaged his liver. There was an infection in part of his colon, so they had to remove it. We had to do a surgery on his leg because it had swelled so much that they thought they were going to lose it.
He was truly Humpty Dumpty, and he had truly fallen off the wall, and we were trying to put him back together.
I'm a control freak, and I connected with Nicole on noticing that she wanted to be in control, she lost control, and she was terrified.
I don't like relying on other people, especially with the boys, because they are mine to protect and to take care of and make sure that they're okay. The nurses up there that I dealt with were amazing. They allowed me to be very involved in taking care of Tate. 12 hours later, he's still there. 24 hours later, he's still there. And so you've made it over that hump, and now you move on to the next. Okay, well now what?
Then once you get through all those critical aspects of things, then you gotta convince him that he can get out of bed again.
Both have you. Are you ready to take some steps, bud?
Once we started working through rebuilding his confidence, you got to see him smile. You got to see him joke with his siblings and laugh with his mom and smile with his dad. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, this is not the child we admitted. This is the child who he was before he came through those hospital doors. You realize this is the miracle that we all work for. This is why we come to work every day.
The accident was January 24th. We were discharged March 3rd. And he walks fine, runs, jumps, everything that they said they didn't know if he was going to be able to do.
Thank you to all the doctors and nurses that helped me out when I was in the hospital.
Tate is here because he ended up at Inova Children's Hospital, and because the team that was there, because the EMT was the group that came to the house. I think that everything had to happen exactly the way that it happened. I believe that that's because that's where God wanted them to be.
This is where your money is going. Your money is going to save the children, but we need help with education, with outreach, and with patient care.
I've been a pediatric nurse for 20 years, and there's no better return on your investment than supporting children's health. How can you not want to save the kids?